Hey guys, I'm Kenny Santucci. I'm a gym owner and creator and founder of Strong New York, which is New York City's only health and wellness expo. The road for me in the fitness space has been twofold. One, when I was about 13, 14 years old and I discovered that I can change and transform my body through health and wellness. So I always say I've been in the industry all of my life pretty much. I actually got professionally started in the fitness industry, I want to say 15, 16 years ago. My introduction to TRX as the suspension trainer was I was working at Equinox back in 2009, 2010, and they had mentioned right around when it kind of first came to market, and they were doing trainings for the suspension trainer, and they were like, this is a great tool and blah, blah, blah. I took the course on how to use it. I fell in love with it. Obviously, we had them at Equinox, and every gym I've had up to this point, there was always some version of the TRX, whether it's the camel version or the gray or the yellow. I've had them in every gym. It was the number one tool that I used during COVID. One of the first things I told my clients when COVID first happened, I was like, listen, you need three things. Get yourself a band, get yourself a set of kettlebells or at least one kettlebell, and then a TRX. And that has been the gold standard for me. If anybody's building a home gym, I tell them one of the first things they need is a TRX. It's one of the tools that I use for everyone to do assessments on, right? So I'm like, okay, everybody's like, well, I can't squat. I'm like, all right, here, hold the arms of the TRX, squat all the way to the bottom. I could get them to the bottom. So I was like, all right, it's not a flexibility issue, it's a mobility issue, right? You just don't feel like you have that range of motion, but you're clearly at the bottom of your squat. With me, it's like I use it for rows, squats, hinging. I mean, it helps me help people perform the movements that I know they could get into with really no risk of injury. So whether they're young or they're old, it's a great tool for them to understand how to move better and that they can get into positions that they didn't think they can get into. I met Jack about a year ago. There was an event with Athletech, and somehow we were just sitting across from each other. We started chatting, and he was telling me how he does jujitsu, and I'm like, I do jujitsu, and we started shooting the shit about lifting and jujitsu, and I was like, what do? You just seem like an old rich guy who's hanging out here. And he's like, I own TRX. I was like, that's even cooler. And we just kind of hit it off from there. And I love his energy. I tell Jack all the time, I go, you're the type of guy that I want to be around because you're 20 years my senior, and we just lifted before, and the guy outlifted me in everything. Pull-ups, bench press, box jumps. I mean, he's what I aspire to be when I'm his age. My first gym I opened back in 2012 in New Jersey in Paramus. It was a CrossFit gym. It was before the boom of CrossFit, so it was a great time to get into the space. People were excited about it. I had some shitty partners. I didn't know what the hell I was doing business-wise. That's why when younger people come to me and they say they want to open up a gym, I said, okay, but you're no longer just a trainer, you're now a business owner. So whether you own a laundromat, a bank, or a gym, it's all the same shit, right? It's all about managing money and managing people, and that's where the hard part comes in. But moving forward, I had another CrossFit gym after that. Again, similar situation. I need to get kicked in the ass twice before I learn my lesson. My third rendition, which was the Strength Club, I opened back in 2021. Just out of necessity. I was training people in the park all through the pandemic. I was working at another friend of mine's gym. And I probably would have still been there had I not had some really great buddies around me who are bar owners and marketing guys. And they were like, you just need to open your own space and just do it. And they kind of came with me looking at spaces. This was pretty much still 2020. We started looking at spaces. March of 2021, I signed a space when everybody was saying New York City's dead, in-person training's dead, gyms are dead. And I said, I'm gonna double down on all that shit and open up a gym. At my gym, we kind of cover a lot of different things. I do primarily private training, but I believe that any type of training works. If you want to do dance, I have trainers in there who do a lot of stretching work, so we push a lot of that stuff. Boxing, Muay Thai. I'm an avid jiu-jitsu guy myself now. I think whatever gets people moving, I think Most people make training more complicated than it actually has to be. I think just getting your body in motion on a daily basis is what most people are missing, right? They overcomplicate what they should be doing rather than just taking that step and starting to do something. My goals have always been the same. I understand what it's like to be out of shape, overweight, intimidated, scared to walk in a gym, unmotivated to do anything. So my goal is to make people feel as comfortable as possible when they walk into my space. I try to create this more living room style environment where people could let their guard down, feel more relaxed, but understand that there is some level of work to be done. You have to apply yourself just a little bit. There has to be some level of effort put into what you're doing for you to yield the results that you're trying to get. So for me, it's like, how do I make that as simple as possible for everyone? My clients range from 9 to 85, and every one of them, I break it down to its simplest form, where everybody should be able to do the 7 fundamental movements of human performance, which is like lunging, rotating, pressing, pulling, hinging, squatting. So if I could get them to do that, now it's like, all right, how do we scale that up from there? So I want people to fall in love with movement. I want people to fall in love with the idea of exercise and getting themselves better, and understanding that you can never be too good. You'll never be good at everything. If I start to endurance train a lot, I'm going to lose strength. If I start to strength train a lot, I'll lose some endurance. But it's always this climbing, one step, one foot in front of the other, where I could fundamentally get better for the rest of my life. And that's what attracts me to hanging out with guys like Jack, where it's, he doesn't let any ideas or limitations around what people think a 60-year-old should be able to do. I'm the same way. I'm 41 years old, and I try to do as much as I possibly can on a daily basis. So Strong New York, I started back in 2015, was the conception of the idea. This will be the 8th version of Strong New York. And basically we grew it out of the basement of my old CrossFit gym. I was going around and traveling to everything from FIBO to Ursa, Summer Strong, Perform Better, LA Fit Expo, the Arnold Classic, you name it. If it's a fitness event, I've probably been there, if not once, multiple times. And for me, I just said there's really nothing for the consumer. I was also working with a bunch of brands at the time. I was working with Fit Aid and Reebok and a lot of these brands that wanted to touch consumers outside the CrossFit space, because I was so heavily involved in CrossFit. And I said, there's a lot of people that come to my gym who aren't CrossFitters. They want to just get a good sweat in. They want to work out. They want to, just learn to move better. So I wanted to create a fitness festival, consumer facing, with a lot of these brands that I had connections with, and I knew a lot of great people in the fitness space who had great ideas to share that are, were taboo at the time, and then there's still new ideas and stuff that come out that are very taboo that we explore, and we want to educate people, and we want to get more people moving. And I said, everything started in New York City, in my opinion, right? Like we have Fashion Week, we have the Food and Wine Festival, we have Comic-Con, we have all these events that people get influenced by. So I wanted to have an event, a fitness event, that influenced the masses in New York City. Because I was like, if I can make just as infectious as COVID was, I want to make fitness that much more infectious. When we were talking before, you see a couple people working out, you're like, oh, I should be doing that, or I want to do that, or I should try that. So the event is based around getting more people to move, whether you're into dance, kids classes, yoga, Pilates, boxing, lifting, kettlebells. It doesn't matter what you're into. We're going to have a version of it there, and you can test it there, and you can watch other people do it. All roads lead to Strong New York, October 5th. It's going to be one hell of a day. We got music, we have food, we have, like I said, kids classes and adult classes, and it's a day for you to explore and learn and network. You can't go wrong. If I told you I can make your life instantly better on one day for $150, would you take me up on it? So when people ask me who my main consumers are, fitness people and fitness enthusiasts are going to come to the event because they're interested in what's out there. I've always considered myself an early adopter. I like going to different things and seeing what other people are doing. So I want to start to get more New Yorkers moving and getting into that direction of like, and you're seeing it, you're watching it happen. More people are cold plunging, less people are drinking, more people are, slowing down their consumption of like shittier processed foods. So people are getting wiser to this, and you want to, I want to be at the forefront of that with helping New Yorkers. So if we could get more people taking care of themselves and focusing on becoming a better version of themselves, I truly believe that you could end a lot of the animosity and hostility and kind of stereotypes in New York. Like, people are always angry, but you'll never leave the gym angry. You're always going to be like, oh, I feel great. I feel so much better than I did when I walked in. I always make statements about, like, therapy is a great thing, but movement therapy, there's nothing that can replace that. It is an instantaneous, gratifying feeling every time you finish some sort of exercise or workout. Like, for me, when I go and work out, when I'm done, it's like, for that hour, my head was clear. I wasn't thinking about all the stressors in my life. I could fully focus on that movement, whether it's protecting my neck or picking 200 pounds up off my chest. You can't think about anything else, or you're freezing in a tub. It allows you, for that moment, to be fully immersed in what you're doing. I mean, no shortcut is ever really a shortcut, right? The only way to get anything done is through hard work, whether it's business or fitness or any type of thing that you really look forward to, any goal that you have set. The only way is through it, right? You have to go through those shitty times. You have to earn every ounce of it. Otherwise, it's not worth it, and it's not going to work. I have plenty of people that I know who use Ozempic and magic pills or whatever they want to take. But at the end of the day, if you're not doing the work, it's never going to work for you. So my motivation to most people is, when you're older, right? There's no real difference between a 30-year-old who works out and a 30-year-old who doesn't work out. You can't really see a difference. But there's a huge difference between a 6-year-old who doesn't work out and a 6-year-old who does work out. Do you want to get to that age and not be able to perform simple human tasks for yourself? You never want to be, because the 5 people around you are going to suffer from all the things that you now pushed aside and the shortcuts that you thought were taken. Now you're making all your mistakes and all the things that you didn't do somebody else's problem. You want your health span to be as long as your lifespan. So staying healthy and moving is what fitness means to me. I want to be able to perform everything I can right now 30 years from now. And if I can't do those things, then I screwed up somewhere along the way. And I truly believe that till your dying day, you should be able to do and perform everything and anything you want to do.